Welcome to Season 2 of the Small Town, Big Dreams podcast. Hi, I'm Becky Waples, and this is the podcast that celebrates small town creators and shares their stories. Each week, we dive into each creator's journey, from their background to where they found their courage, from their challenges to their wins, where they found their inspiration to how they took their first step. I cannot wait to chat, laugh, and inspire the next small town creator with each of my guests. If you are inspired by small town creators who turn their big dreams into reality, then this is the podcast for you. Please rate and subscribe to all upcoming episodes. Please follow on Instagram and Facebook, and always feel free to leave a message or comment to let me know what you'd like to hear or who you'd like to hear from. This little passion project is turning into quite the adventure, and I'm so glad you've come along for the ride. Thank you from the bottom of this small town creator's big heart. Let's grow together. Okay, awesome. So thank you, Nikki, for joining me today. This is very exciting. I just want to say really quickly that you reached out to me on Instagram maybe, half an hour ago?
Yeah.
And I was sitting at my computer. I had some technical difficulties this morning, but it just worked out so well. I'm so excited we're doing this.
I know my management, they sent me kind of like this link to your Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to reach out. And my management was actually gonna reach out to you, but then I said to myself, I'm like, no, I want to. So but here we are.
Wow, your manager was gonna reach out to me?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, my management, Jenna, she was like, yeah, we're gonna reach out. And I said, no, I want to take over. Let me take over. So I thought that it would be better if, we can meet, via myself versus someone else. So yeah, I'm really excited.
I love that. I'm just in small town Canada.
Oh, awesome. I'm Canadian as well. I'm French Canadian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's even better, because I thought I saw something that said you were in Boston. Are you in Boston right now?
I am, yeah.
Okay, but you're from Montreal or like Quebec?
No, my ancestry is from French Canadian. Yeah, a lot of my ancestors come from Quebec. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Well, I want to get started really quickly because I kind of want to know, you mentioned that you have 5 companies. Tell us your journey, and let's just like start. I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Nikki Gal. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I just find any platform that has entrepreneur guests or people involved in the business industry, I just find that just so amazing. I'm just so, again, honored to be here. So thanks again for having me. But yeah, so my name is Nikki Gal. I'm a fashion model, I'm an advocate, and then I'm also the owner and operator of 5 companies. So yeah, my entrepreneur life kind of started when I was just 20 years old in 2019. I founded my first company, which was actually a digital art company, See Through Nikki, in 2019. And then after that, I told myself, I really like this, but I want to branch off and do more things for myself. So then I started 4 more companies by 2023. And then I started a nonprofit in 2021. Which was amazing. I just love giving back to the community, and I loved just being an advocate for women's mental health as well. A huge passion of mine, my priority and my primary passion is definitely entrepreneurship, aside from my advocacy work. Entrepreneurship, it just keeps me alive. It keeps me growing. It keeps me evolving. And it's just something that just empowers me as a woman. And I think every woman in business and in the entrepreneurship field should feel empowered, because it's a difficult thing, right? But it's the best thing that we can do as women. I feel like it's just such an amazing journey, and everyone has a chance to, make their own path in the business world.
Oh, absolutely. I find that since starting this podcast, every time I talk to women, we're constantly talking about empowerment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we're constantly talking about mindset. And when you get in your mindset of how to empower yourself, then you kind of realize that you want to work for yourself and you want to embrace your creative journey.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I've had a huge creative journey and a creative shift. Again, I started when I was only 20 years old, when I kind of, dipped my foot in the entrepreneurial water. And now I'm 25. So it's been about 5 years, and I've seen a huge amount of creative growth, as far as individual growth, as well as far as my professionalism, my professional performance. It's been a very amazing experience to just kind of, live it and breathe it and go through it. It's been very, very fun for me.
And what was your first company you started?
I started my first company in 2019. It was my digital art company, See Through Nikki. So yeah, I was just a baby. I was 20 years old when that launched, which makes me laugh because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I made it this far. So
See Through Nikki, is that what your digital art is called?
Yes.
And what do you do there? What is that?
Yeah, so I do custom digital designs. I do a lot of custom animation work, but I mainly primarily focus on logos and just things like that. A lot of self-branding. I do a lot of web design as well. Really, anybody looking to really just self-brand themselves in a way that's an artistic way or artistic vision. That's what Suits Nikki is. Yeah, so yeah, the company launched in 2019. Again, I didn't know what the heck I was doing,
Yeah,
but it
really.
just kind of blossomed into this. Yeah, it kind of just blossomed overnight. And, one of the pieces actually went viral. So it kind of had a lot of traffic very quickly. But yeah, I never really thought I would ever own an art company. I mean, I've always been an artist from a young age. It was a huge passion of mine from, oh my gosh, childhood. But I never thought I could ever combine that into a business. But thankfully, I ended up maneuvering it and I ended up maneuvering the popularity of it into a business, which was a risk taking move on my part. But it was definitely a move that I had to make, especially, as a businesswoman.
Yeah, absolutely. You were only 20, so you were a very young businesswoman.
Yeah.
Did you find that, oh, sorry, you started your professional career as a model.
Yes, I did.
Did you already have some connections started, or did you experience anybody looking at you like you were too young to start your own business?
No, I mean, I've been working in professional field since I was 15 as a model. So I had 5 years, I guess, was
Wow. Yeah.
professional experience. Yeah. But as far as the art industry and the entrepreneurial industry or the business industry, absolutely not. So I definitely had to kind of, work my way through and kind of learn as I went. But no, I had no prior really contacts or anything really. I had a few people that were from my modeling days that supported my art career and were, very kind enough and gracious enough to, repost my work on their feeds. But no, I didn't know anybody in the business really or any other artists when I started. I was just kind of out on my own, doing my own thing. So yeah, it was a lot to learn very quick. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then what are your other four businesses that you've started?
Yeah. So my art company, just like what we just discussed. And then I have my photography company, Shots by Gal. I also own two fashion lines, Gal Intimates and Gal Swim. And then I own a content consulting company, which is Galvanized by Nikki Gal. So I do a lot of creative visions and creative work. And then on top of that, obviously, I own a nonprofit. So it's been kind of a crazy vibe trying to balance everything, but I'm just so grateful that this is what I get to do every single day. So I'm very grateful.
What advice do you have for individuals who want to start their own entrepreneurship, especially young women?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was only 20 when I started. So honestly, just keep going, keep creating, keep wanting to see yourself grow. I think a lot of times in entrepreneurship, we get all kind of upset with, with ourselves and, oh, we're not seeing enough progress. And, we don't feel like we're doing enough. And we get very discouraged because we're not seeing the outcomes or we're not seeing the money or, whatever. But, you have to keep going. It's trial and error. Everything comes with a process. You're not going to, be successful overnight. It's going to take some time and that's okay. That's the process. So accept trial and error and create a good network around you of people that also want to see you grow and people that have a positive influence on yourself and your business. Good people, when you have good people around, it makes the situation so much better. It makes any career so much better. And just really having a really good support system around you. It could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be people that share the same interests as you. Just have a really, really good support system. And you can see a huge difference in not only your personal life, but also your professional performance. It's very, very crucial to have that, especially nowadays in the world of social media with everything moving so fast. We tend to get very caught up with followers and likes and, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you just have good people around you and everything will be okay.
When you're organizing your day, how do you evaluate what you're going to spend most of your time on, juggling five different business plus your nonprofit?
Yeah, I mean, the balance is big. Balance is a big thing. Balance is, I think, the core to any life, right? Whether it's entrepreneurship or a career, or maybe you're a mom and you're balancing your kids. Balance is core. It's the core, piece to anyone's life. Really, the way that I do it is well, first of all, I'm on a schedule. I wake up at usually around 4:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. every morning, which is wild, crazy. Not that's not for everyone. But I'm definitely a morning person. So yeah, I would definitely say getting on a good schedule, along with time management, not being afraid to set boundaries for yourself and the people around you. There's going to be days where you're not going to want to get out of bed. You're just going to be like, oh, like, I don't want to work. I don't want to, but use that as motivation, use that as a tool to, pivot your own motivation and keep going. Every day is going to be different, especially in the entrepreneurial lifestyle. But accept that, accept the change, embrace it, and just go out there and do what you always wanted to do. It sounds kind of corny, but, you have to believe in yourself, especially as a businesswoman and as an entrepreneur, and especially as a young businesswoman and entrepreneur. Again, you're not going to always see the names and the numbers that you're going to want to probably see or what you're going to expect. But just like, as I mentioned before, it will come in time.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about your advocacy and your nonprofit?
Yeah, so I started advocating when I was about 22. I launched in 2021 my nonprofit organization, Raw Talk with Nikki Gal. Essentially, it was a platform that I felt like I didn't really need, but I really wanted. Need and want are two different things. And I felt like, well, mental health visibility isn't really there. It is and it isn't, especially in the women's community. So when I launched my platform, I told myself, okay, I'm going to advocate for women. Mental health has been something that has been very, alarming for me. I've met a lot of women through the years, especially my modeling days, that there was a lot of women that were struggling with their own mental health, and young girls and teenagers that were struggling with their own mental health, which motivated me even more to say, I'm going to be a voice for this community. So I launched in 2021, and it was an amazing podcast that launched in over 40 countries the first year. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that outcome. And then in 2023, as of this month, I launched another podcast, The Model Memo, which showcases and spreads light on the mental health industry within the mental health community within the modeling industry, where I have interviewed so many different women within the modeling industry and really their raw takes on, their own mental health and how that industry really affects them. The modeling industry specifically, I feel like a lot of people, just due to my own experience, what I witnessed, struggle with mental health. So I wanted to be a voice for those as well and shed light on visibility within that community as well.
That's awesome. I noticed with your Raw Talk, how do you find your guests? They look like they get to talk to all different types of women.
Yeah, I do. I mean, some are my friends that I've known forever, years and years. Yeah. Some women I don't know at all. And it's important to reach out. Everyone, it's hard, right? Especially on social media, it's hard to reach out to people. People think, oh, maybe I'm intruding on their space. I don't want to annoy them, but you have to, and I've met so many amazing women. Again, some of them have been my friends since I was like 15,
Yeah.
And some I don't even know at all. My first time talking to them is on the podcast. But just really, again, shedding light on diversity and, really getting everyone in the conversation, every race, every sexuality, every background, just who they are. Individuality is a blessing and it needs to be seen and heard more. And that's what I wanted to do within my platform. A lot of times, a lot of different podcasts or platforms, I'll only showcase one woman, right? Or one this or one that. And I don't want that. I want everyone to have a voice and everyone to have a place to speak because everyone deserves that. So that's what I've kind of wanted to really create as far as mission with Raw Talk with Nikki Gal. Everyone needs to be represented because they deserve that.
I love that. Share a journey because how many women might that resonate with?
Yeah. And it's funny too, because you would probably assume, oh yeah, these women are so different, but no one has anything in common. But it's so funny because these women, they all come from different backgrounds and different, lives, but they all have something in common, which says a lot. It speaks volumes.
Now, when you reached out to me, you did mention that you grew up in a small town. Tell us about where you grew up.
Yeah, so I grew up in Massachusetts, very small town. I'm out in Boston now, but when I was growing up, I grew up in a very, very small town. I've always kept my small town roots close to me. It was something that I've always kind of, as a child, I would, sit in the back of my mom's car and listen to music and, just do all the fun stuff that you would do as a kid. But I always had big dreams growing up. I always fostered big dreams. Those dreams included being a model, being an artist, and just having really something of my own, and being able to craft something of my own and be proud of that and be powerful in that. A lot of times as children, people will ask you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's always that one thing, right? People don't ask, oh, well, what are many things that you want to be when you grow up? It's usually just that one thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I was always asked growing up, well, what's that one thing? What's that one thing? And now that I'm older, I said to myself, well, I never just wanted to be one thing. I always wanted to be multiple things. And that's exactly what I did. So really just fostering that multifaceted mindset from a very young age, even though I didn't know what that word meant at the time. I still wanted to, have more than just one thing. And that kind of motivated me, as a child to, want more for my life. And that's, essentially what I did as far as my professional life as an adult. As a child, you dream big, you have major dreams growing up. But how many of those dreams really come true? Not many. Sometimes a lot of those dreams, you think about it for a couple of years and then you never see those again. Those dreams again. And I wanted to see those dreams again. I didn't just want to see them again. I wanted to do them, So that's what I did. Yeah. But, my small town, I'm very close to my family. I always have kept my small town roots very, very close to me. I think that's very important. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you, just again, motivated. You can't forget where you came from. Where you came from is where you came from. It's what made you. It's really the soil, right, to your seed. And it makes it grow. And my hometown and my small town roots actually, and very much so, did make me grow in a lot of ways, not just, in a professional light, but also personally as well. And again, I'm very grateful for that.
I always like to ask if there was any challenges or advantages because you grew up in a small town compared to someone that lives in a large city.
Yeah, I always love the city.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of a city girl. I mean, I love the simplicity of, being in the suburbs and things like that. I love that, but I love the city. Not much opportunity for modeling. I will say that.
In a small town, I know. Did you have to move to the city to become a model?
No, I did have to move, but a lot of traveling.
True.
A lot of traveling, it was kind of annoying, traveling is, kind of annoying a little bit, but it is what it was. And I made the best out of it. I just had to work extremely hard and, travel here, a lot of traveling. But yeah, I'd say really the big disadvantage was just like the location. There's not much to do in a small town. The most local grocery store was like 20 minutes away. So so it was like our nearest Walmart when I was growing up was like maybe 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, it was a while. Yeah. So, but it was good. It was good. I had a really good childhood and yeah, I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it was hard traveling. Also too, I think a lot of, when you go in the entertainment industry very young or the modeling industry very young or whatever, and when you're in a small town, you do get a lot of judgment. A lot of people just didn't get it. A lot of people from my high school just didn't get it. They didn't understand, well, what is she doing? What she's modeling? What's that? People were very curious. So I had to dodge a lot of weird questions, but it's not everyone's career is going to be made for someone else. Not everybody's going to get you, and that's okay. You just have to move on and you just, again, make the best out of the situation.
I know. I love what you say that. Yeah. When I grew up, our closest Walmart was an hour away. And so, yeah. But also when people be like, even now to this day, people are like, you would drive 2 hours to do that? And I'm like, I am so used to traveling long places to get anywhere. Does your family still live in your small town or did they move out?
They do. Yeah. Yeah. My family still, yeah, they do.
So you're like the small town celebrity on like a giant scale.
I don't know about that. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. Yeah. I'm first generation model.
Yeah. In our small town, we have one of a guys from my high school who was younger than me and he plays professional lacrosse in Las Vegas. And it's like a huge deal. And that's not a model or a 5-time or even 6 now entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's cool. I think everyone's on their own path, right? And I just love that. There's girls from my high school that they're doctors or they're nurses. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Everyone's on their own path and you just have to be like, wow, you just have to be happy for everyone. It's really just spreading, kindness and being supportive of each other.
I think in the small town I grew up in, we only saw what we saw. You know what I mean? Like my parents were teachers. So teachers looked like a good job for me. And yeah, being like the town doctor, like we only had one town doctor or we only had the one grocery store. And so I think even just for the women or the girls that are in your town, seeing someone come from their town that's so wildly successful is like, it's doing more than you think probably. And you're doing more good just with the women or the girls that are in your small town, only seeing what they see, but then they see you and where you went.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I don't really hear too much from like people from my hometown. I mean, I have a few hometown friends that are like my ride or die, but yeah, I heard from one childhood friend like a long time ago, like maybe like 2 years ago. and well, not really a long time ago, fairly recently, I guess you can say. And yeah, they reached out to me. They're like, hey, like I saw this, I saw that, thanks so much for, kind of like inspiring me. And I'm like, oh, like thanks. Like, like I hope you're doing well too. It's cool. It's cool to get those check-ins from people from your past that you would think, oh, this person's I'm never going to talk to this person again. But then, oh, they're in your DMs or oh, they're in your Facebook message. And you're like, oh, cool. So it's cool to get that type of support, especially from a small town, situation. It's very cool. It's very fun to get that.
Yeah, I think it's inspiring I know growing up in a small town, you only see what you see. And so when something that you see is someone so successful, you think, what can I do? You're more likely to try something new as well, right? Or
Definitely
try harder. Yeah.
Another motivation.
Yeah, exactly. I did ask about the advice for women, but do you have a business hack that you would say, I wish someone had told me this when I was starting, that you might want to share with my listeners?
Oh, go with the flow. I mean, there's going to be days that are going to be really bad. You're going to be like, oh, you're going to be stressed out to the core. And you're like, oh no, like I forgot to write these people back and these emails, like my emails are flooded and oh, I can't respond to this many people, go with the flow. We're humans, we cannot compete with technology. There's so many people out there that think that they can compete with technology and it's just not going to work. Give yourself time and give yourself self-care moments. You have to have self-care be part of really your life. You cannot neglect your self-care or your body, especially as a businesswoman or in any situation. If you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, you cannot neglect your self-care because that's what really makes us where we are and who we need to be during the day. So those are those things I would just say. And then also too, never limit yourself. There's a lot of times where, women and young girls, they limit themselves. Oh, I'll never be good at that. Or, oh, I wish I could do that, but I could never. Maybe you can. Maybe you could. You might shock yourself, So you have to just keep your mind wide open and never limit yourself. You never know what you're going to accomplish. And you never know what you might do. You never know. So yeah, just keep believing in yourself and trust the process. Life is a process. It's not going to all be good. It's not going to all be bad, but just take it for what it is and just strive to be the best version of yourself you can be for the next day.
I love that. Do you have big goals on the future? I know you mentioned that you just started a new podcast, The Model Memo, but I just feel like with you being so young, you're probably like, the sky's the limit. So what do you see on the horizon?
Yeah, I love that. That literally is my brain. Yeah, I would say really just, moving forward towards more advocacy work, launching more digital media campaigns. I've launched a few digital media campaigns over the past years with a lot of wonderful women who have spoken up against mental health and, against, self-esteem problems and things like that have been very, very candid with themselves and very openly candid with themselves and others. So I hope to launch more digital media campaigns like that and branching out more into the mental health community, obviously, and spreading more advocacy in that community as well. Absolutely. Really just moving towards more goals and things like that and capitalizing and amplifying the businesses that I already own. And just keep moving forward. I love just building and growing and evolving and see where my mind will take me and see where my businesses will take me. So yeah, just trusting the process and kind of just seeing where everything ends up.
That's very cool. I don't really have a ton more questions. Do you have any questions that I didn't really cover?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
I usually finish with a rapid fire round. Is it okay if I ask you some this or that questions?
No, absolutely.
Some just really random questions to get to know you better?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. So would you rather have a personal chef or a personal trainer?
Both. I say both.
Would you rather walk in the forest or swim in the lake?
Lake. I'm a water girl. I love water. I love the ocean, lakes. Yeah, I love it.
Are you team coffee or team tea?
Neither. I don't drink caffeine.
I've never drank coffee. Well, I've drank it, but I'm not a coffee drinker. And I just started drinking tea because I feel like I just need that little bit of boost in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. Caffeine, it gives me anxiety, so I can't drink it. It's weird, but herbal tea occasionally. But yeah.
What's your favorite workout song?
Favorite workout song? Anything Taylor Swift, probably.
Oh, good. What's your favorite I said put in here, what's your favorite office snack, but snack on the go, maybe? Yeah.
Oh, let me think. Well, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, which is like I have celiac and lactose intolerant. So I have to like my snack choices are
Very
very
limited.
limited. Yes. Really, just like anything like popcorn or like something like that, something that's like not too high in calories, but like gets the job done, like something that fills you, definitely something like that, or fruit, like an apple or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you a morning owl? Morning owl? Oh, sorry. Are you a morning owl or a night hawk?
I'm both, but as far as
Oh,
like
yeah.
my work and stuff, definitely like morning.
So yeah, we covered that. What did you say you wake up at like 5?
Yeah, like 4:35. I know, I'm crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all I really asked. I'd like to ask if you like pineapple on pizza. Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza? But I'd feel bad asking you that if you're gluten-free and dairy-free.
It's funny because like I got diagnosed with celiac disease, oh gosh, like 2019. So right around the time that I started my company, which was like also very challenging on me. But yeah, no, I've never been a fan of that before I got
I
diagnosed.
also not. I feel like that's a very Canadian thing, but
Really? Yeah, like so you guys have like Tim Hortons, right?
yeah.
Oh, and what's your view on Tim Hortons? We don't have that here.
So I don't drink coffee, so I'm like I very rarely go to Tim Hortons. My husband drinks Tim Hortons coffee probably every day, and my boys love their like cookies and donuts and stuff. But yeah, I don't really have an opinion because I don't drink coffee. So
Gotcha. Yeah, because I have like a lot of Canadian friends, and I was like, Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons. You have to go to Tim Hortons. And like, I've never been to Canada, so I'm gonna have to like try it out. Like, not like drink coffee there. I don't drink coffee either, but like, yeah, I'm gonna try to check it out.
yeah, I think you have some Tim Hortons up in like Michigan area, but they
Oh, I
probably are a
do.
bit. I
Yeah.
think there is.
Huh.
And I've never had Dunkin' Donuts. Like, what's the coffee shop where in Boston? Like, what's the
Oh
like
my
brand?
gosh. Wait, you've never been to a Dunkin'? Oh no.
Never.
Oh
No.
my gosh, that's so funny. Dunkin' Donuts is like the religion of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a Dunkin's on every corner of Boston. It's insane. Yeah, Dunkin's. I would say Dunkin's is probably the main, but then also we have Starbucks. You must have Starbucks over there.
I have a Starbucks. It just was built like 2 minutes from my house. So yeah, we go there every once in a while.
Yeah, Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks is also like the main coffee place. Yeah, I'd say Starbucks, um, Dunkin' Donuts, Honeydew. Yeah, but Dunkin's is like the top dog for sure.
Oh, I have another question. As a traveler, what's your favorite place to go? Where's your favorite place like um in the world?
Oh gosh, I've never been, but I've always wanted to go to, let me think. I mean, like, I love Europe so much. It's like so beautiful there, and my ancestry's from there as well. I'm Ukrainian, and then I'm also Irish. I would love to make it to Ireland. I've never been to Ireland. It's so beautiful there. I don't know if you've ever like been, but it's so gorgeous. I would love to make it to Ireland. I don't know. There's something like very home about that. It's like green, and it's just so like fields everywhere, and yeah, it's very beautiful.
I would say Ireland's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That's where I wanted to go for our honeymoon.
Oh,
We didn't end up. Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, that's like all I have. I really appreciate you reaching out to me and talking and being able to connect so quickly. I can't wait to listen to the model memo, and I'm going to listen to Raw Talk all afternoon probably.
Oh, thank you so much. No, thank you so much for having me on. And again, I'm so happy I reached out. This has been such an amazing podcast. And yeah, I love that you shed a light on hometowns and small town roots, because a lot of times, people forget about that. So I'm so happy that you're able to, really put this podcast out there and, enlighten people as well. It's just such a powerful platform. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you. Where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, nikkigal.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, Nikki C. Gal, Gal. And yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. I'd say Instagram's my main form of social media. But then also you can contact me through my website.
Awesome.
Are you ready to live kindly, confidently, and ridiculously happy? Me too. I'm Sophia Lemon, and I host Ridiculously Happy Peoplecast. Once a week, I sit down with an awesome person I want to learn from, and we talk about how in the heck to balance life. Throw on your sweats and prepare to laugh, cry, and even cringe as we talk about all the bullshit that comes along with living ridiculously happy. Subscribe to Ridiculously Happy Peoplecast, and that's PPL Cast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcasts, and get your shit together with us.